bounce pass to the cutting walk in. Herring on the way to the rack.
Kuala responded right away.
To the corner, it's time to now one. That's his shot.
They should keep attacking.
White, another drop. Another breakaway. Togo up and under. And in. For the lead. Alab delivers with the three.
This is the scene tonight at the Gorgartajaya Gymnasium here in Surabaya, Indonesia, where the rise to greatness ends tonight for one team, makes it to the semifinals, while the other team just walks out of here, having known that their storied season finally comes to an end. For the BTN CLS Knights, of course, they want that trip to the finals. They want to make sure that this home crowd stays very, very happy. But at the same time, for the Mono Vampire, the 8th seed, 0-3 in this building, wanting to get that first win tonight and a trip to their second straight finals appearance. It has come down to this here in Game 3 of the semifinals of the 2019 ASEAN Basketball League. The BTN CLS Knights along with the Mono Vampire. One team advances, the other team goes home. My name is Noel Zarate alongside Marco Benitez. And Game 3, we've had this 6 times in our history. And Marco, of those 6 times, 5 times the home team took the prize.
Mono Vampire facing difficult odds here, as there's only been one time where a visiting team has won a Game 3. The keys for the BTN CLS Knights, the home squad, everybody needs to rebound. So far, they have been out-rebounded by the Mono Vampire. They need to play good defense, get out on the break. They are the better fast-breaking team, so they need to dictate tempo, especially here at home. And of course, they are also the better assisting team. They need to move the ball around and play more together. As a team, they average about 21 assists per ball game. Mono Vampire averages about 19 assists per ball game. Tough odds here for Mono Vampire. They want to be one of the first 8 seeds to overcome this 1-1 deficit, or this home court disadvantage against the BTN CLS Knights.
We go back to game number 1, of course, played in this building, 86-77, pretty much a wire-to-wire win for the BTN CLS Knights, but the big number again, 10 three-point field goals made in that one.
And that is the key here for the BTN CLS Knights. Number 1 team in terms of three-point shooting, connected on 10 in that game, only had 8 in Game 2. It was the second chance points. That was one of the keys for Mono Vampire, of course, together with the offensive rebounding. So the domination inside the paint is one of the things that Mono Vampire will look for, of course, aside from their perimeter defense against the CLS Knights.
It feels like New Year's Day inside the Gorgartajaya Gymnasium. This place is an absolute sellout. It has been a sellout since 48 hours ago. So the Indonesians want to see another finals appearance. Of course, their last finals appearance came all the way back in 2012 when they lost to the San Miguel Beermen, but they did win a championship in 2011. They want to make sure that they make it to the finals. We're waiting in the wings is the Singapore Slingers, who will be having home court throughout the finals. Same thing can be said about Mono Vampire. They want a return trip to the final, but what a Cinderella story it has been. We'll talk more about that in just a bit. Right now, the player introductions are starting. Let's send it over to courtside.
Number 77, Ciptai Ananti. Number 79, Ciptapon Tawarots. And the coach, Tongkiat Singhasene. Assistant coach, Cakapan Pong Pantaran. And Supakati Tongtim. Salam satu nyali. Salam satu nyali. Salam satu nyala. And now, introducing the team BTN Indonesia. Number 9, Sandi Fabianza. Number 10, Rahmat Febri Utomo. Number 11, Arif Hidayah. Number 16, Firman Dwi Nugroho. Number 17, Katon Aji Baskoro. Number 24, Muhammad Saroni. And number 27, Bima Rizky Ardiansa. Please welcome our General Douglas Harris. This is our Avenger, the Incredible Hulk, Daryl Watkins. Surabaya Sweetheart, please welcome Rende Suwara. MVP, MVP,
Saya minta tolong kepada semuanya kita nyanyi dengan keras, teriak kalau mungkin boleh, kita buat tim lawan merinding dengan lagu kebangsaan kita. And this is our national anthem, Indonesia Raya.
Indonesia.
As it has been all season long, one of the best player introductions in this building here at the Gorkar Jaya Gymnasium, and it will be Freddie Leash getting the start here today at point guard for Mono Vampire Thailand.
Well, Coach Tong rewarding his stellar play the past 2 games. Meanwhile, back to the usual starters for the BTN CLS Knights, Brandon Jawato, after serving that 1-game suspension in Game 2, now back here in Game 3. And as you mentioned, he is going to be raring to go here for the BTN CLS Knights.
Our officials record Boron of the Philippines, Chu Wei Chuen of Malaysia, and we have another referee coming in from Hong Kong, and that Knight must be at least 7 feet tall. They should probably look to get him as a local player next time around. Maxi Esho, Game 1, 21 points. Didn't do too well in Game 2 because he had to do the work of 2 players himself and Brandon Jawato himself. But Doug Herring carried the load practically in Game 2.
You see the numbers of Doug Herring, 22 points, 8 of 18 from the field, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. But I think the crucial stat there is just the 4 assists. He's going to have to really distribute the ball and play make some more, as Brandon Jawato averaging about 13 points per game. Had 18 in Game 1, missing in Game 2. And this is the guy that is big for Mono Vampire. Singletary, 6 points in the first half of Game 2, exploding for 25, 19 in the second half. He's going to be crucial. Malcolm White, of course, carried the big load in the first half, finishing with 18 points. And he's one of the guys that Mono uses to dominate inside the paint in terms of inside scoring and rebounding.
Now the 2 guys we haven't mentioned for Mono are actually the 2 guys who have championship experience. Tyler Lamb, now playing as a local after winning a championship for Hong Kong Eastern a couple of seasons ago, and the mid-season acquisition of Romeo Travis, who had helped his team in the Philippine Basketball Association win a championship. Now these are 2 players with championship experience. This should loom large in this road game. But of course, when it comes to the coaching, Brian Rousem should have the tops on Coach Tong in this one. He has been with this team from the very start, and what a season it has been for the CLS, the BTN CLS Knights, because of that man on your screen.
That is correct, Noel. Starting the season 2-7, making that mid-season change, and then rattling off 7 straight wins, finishing as the number 4 seed. But as you mentioned, Romeo Travis will be critical here for Mono Vampire. Does not overwhelm you with his scoring, but does a little bit of everything, averaging almost, he can average actually close to a triple-double. Had 15 points in Game 2, but also scattered 7 rebounds, or make that 9 rebounds, 12 rebounds and 7 assists. So he is the guy that usually plays the high post. So when Malcolm White dives inside the paint, Travis is usually open from about 15 to 17 feet, and where he is so deadly.
And so far in this series, Marco, But the Mono Vampire have actually dominated in the rebounding category. It has not translated for victory in game number 1 because of the hot shooting of the BTN CLS Knights, but they really flexed their muscles in game 2.
But in game 2, they had a 21-7 offensive rebound advantage,
Right.
54-35 rebounding advantage. So if you're the BTN CLS Knights, you do not necessarily have to win the rebounding battle, but as long as you can be competitive there and eliminate a lot or some of those second chance points for Mono Vampire, then you'll be in good shape. Of course, you are expected, talking about the BTN CLS Knights, to dictate the tempo here at home, get out on the break and score in transition.
16 wins, 3 losses in this building this season for the BTN CLS Knights. And for Mono Vampire, they're 0 for 3 in this building. What a story it's going to be for Wong Wei Long. If they do make it to the finals, Wong Wei Long will be going up against a team that has nurtured him from the get-go in the ASEAN Basketball League, the Singapore Slingers.
That is correct. You're talking about a team that has been in the finals 3 of the last 4 seasons. So if Wong Wei Long can make it back into the finals this time with this BTN CLS Knights, that's going to be one of the main stories to look at going to the finals.
And he's back, Brandon Joato. What a big factor his absence was for the BTN CLS Knights in game number 2. Both teams at full strength, as it should be. Once again, one team walks out of here with a date with the Singapore Slingers in the finals, while the other team just walks out of here. Mono Vampire in orange, purple for the BTN CLS Knights. All bets are off in this one. Welcome to Game 3, the final semifinals matchup of the season here in the 9th season of the ASEAN Basketball League.
And you know, Noel, before we get it going, just a couple of keys for Mono Vampire. Number 1, start the game aggressive. Cannot afford to go down early against the home squad. Number 2, play great defense on the perimeter. Limit the number 1 3-point shooting team in the league. And of course, take care of the basketball. 16 turnovers in game 1. Managed to trim it down to just 12 in their win in game 2.
We are underway with Mono Vampire having first crack at the basket, and Malcolm White will come up empty. Rebound picked up by Daryl Watkins, and this crowd tells you who's got the ball.
That's right, and you know, Daryl Watkins will also be very critical. He should not get into foul trouble. As you know, that was one of the things that hampered him in game 2.
How about this 3-on-1 going the other way? Malcolm White! Great feed coming from Singletary, and that is an indication of the energy level of Mono Vampire in this game.
And if Mike Singletary can really facilitate well here for the Mono Vampire squad, he's going to help out and contribute to the confidence of Malcolm White.
Here's Wong Wei Long. That'll go to Maxi Esho. He has to get involved early. Esho with a counter slam. How about that?
And Maxi Escher, that is one of the things that he can take advantage of. He has the quickness advantage against Romeo Travis. If he can put the ball on the floor, definitely will be a good sign here for the home squad.
What a start. 2 dunks on both ends of the floor. Great defense by Watkins that time. White was looking for a foul. And here comes Herring into the front court. Esho getting a full head of steam. He's tripped by Tyler Lamb. And into the front court goes Mono Vampire. Lamb getting it over to Romeo Travis, hesitating for a moment. Travis on the post-up tries to get in closer, and Travis misses from about 6 feet away.
A sorry miss on the part of Romeo Travis. Maxi Escher actually stopped defending him once he got about 5 feet or 3 feet away from the basket. Just a sorry miss there for Travis.
Still tied at 2 on 2 dunks. 1 from White, 1 from Esho. Watkins needs to get involved early. Frontal assault a little too strong, and the battle for the rebound. And that's going to be a team rebound going the way of Mono Vampire.
And that's great defense there on the part of Malcolm White. If he can be consistent on that, they can pretty much cancel out each other here. Talking about Daryl Watkins and Malcolm White.
We're coming up on 2 minutes gone by here in the first quarter, still tied at 2. And remember, a low-scoring game would favor the road team. Mono Vampires, Singletary knocks it down from straight away.
That's a nice play run there by Mono Vampire, focusing the ball on the right side of the floor, and then that kick-out pass coming from Tyler Lamb to Mike Singletary. Hits his first triple of the game. That's a good sign for the visiting team.
Watkins operating inside. Gets it back. It's a deuce. It's still a 1-point lead for Mono Vampire, but you like the aggression being shown by Watkins early. Here's Leash. Trying to get unleashed once again. Pardon the pun. Freddie Leash from deep. Doesn't work.
That's good defense there on the part of Wong Wei Long. Those are the shots that they want Freddie Leash to take.
Jawato First triple of the game for the BTN CLS Knights, and they love stroking it in this building.
That is what they sorely missed in game 2, the outside shooting and the defensive presence of Brandon Jawato. Right now, he's matched up against Tyler Lamb.
Lob pass inside, just tipped away by Daryl Watkins. A little telegraphed intended for Romeo Travis from Malcolm White. And Coach Brian Rossum telling his team to talk on defense.
Lucky break there for Mono Vampire. Would have been a steal for the Knights. Turnovers, one of the things that we're going to be constantly looking at here, Noel, in this game.
Leash on the inbound. Romeo Travis, 20-footer, comes up short. He's 0 for 2 to begin this contest. Herring pushing it up. Eschel looking at Travis. They will reset. 6:45 to go here in the first. Knights up 2. Jawato had the last basket earlier, was a 3. 9 to shoot now. Doug Herring lost the handle, and they will lose possession.
Good defense on the part of Mono Vampire. And if I'm Mono Vampire, apart from a couple of guys, Maxi Esho, Wong Wei Long, possibly even Brandon Jawato, I can afford to pack it inside the paint, give those outside shots to Darryl Watkins and possibly even Doug Herring.
Well, here's Mike Singletary doing a little bit of point guard chores. He'll be doing a lot of that today. Malcolm White is 1 for 3 in this game. He had that dunk to start this ball game, but has missed his 2 perimeter jumpers.
Really so difficult to score from the outside here in Gorkar Tajaya.
Watkins taking it strong, and they say the foul happened on the ground. Malcolm White, sheepish grin on his face. He knows he's going to have his hands full because Watkins does have the height and heft advantage over him. But I guess the desired advantage would go to Malcolm White.
And you know, it's a good ploy here by Coach Brian Rossum. They knew that Malcolm White was their thorn on their side in game 2. So very deliberately trying to pound the ball into Darryl Watkins to attack the defense of Malcolm White.
And we are coming up on 6 minutes to go here in the first. Knights 7, Mono Vampire 5. They try to run a pick and pop, read well by Tyler Lamb. And that's what you want from Tyler Lamb. His defense is so underrated. Lob pass inside. Travis gets inside. And finally a basket for Romeo Travis.
And again, this is where Mono Vampire has the advantage. Points inside the paint. They have the bigger lineup, the heftier lineup. So if they can continue to pound it inside, that's going to be good for them.
Tied at 7 right now. Post up play now. Again, Watkins. And this is part of the game plan to get Watkins involved early, but he's being defended well. Wong Wei Long, deep 3!
Number 1 3-point shooter in the ASEAN Basketball League in terms of three-point makes.
And he pushes the lead up to 3 once again, 10-7. Travis on the post up. Travis gets it over to Malcolm White, another perimeter, Jay. This one drops from the baseline.
Again, that's a shot from about 10 feet that Malcolm White can consistently hit. Mono Vampire also trying to pound the ball into that mismatch between Romeo Travis and Maxi Esho.
Herring was a little aggressive that time, and if that's on White, that's going to be his second foul. That could be a big factor in this game for Mono.
And so far, the strategy of the BTN CLS Knights in pounding the ball inside has worked, as they've been able to pick up. Yep, that's the second personal foul on Malcolm White.
And we're going to have a timeout called with our score, the BTN CLS Knights 10, Mono Vampire 9, first quarter action, and we will be back in just a bit. Tyler Lamb and the rest of Mono Vampire down by 1 right now, 10-9, the deciding Game 3 of the semifinals waiting in the wings. As we said earlier, Singapore Slingers finals begin on May 3 over there at the OCBC Arena in Singapore. And for Mono Vampire, we mentioned this earlier, Marco, they want to get back to the finals, but what an unlikely story. At one point in the season, you say probably January, you would say that Mono Vampire would be fighting for a final slot. Today, you'd probably think whoever said that was crazy.
They made a key change, a couple of key changes, bringing in Romeo Travis towards the latter portion of the season, rattling off, I believe that was 6 or 7 straight wins. At one point at the end of the season, they were one of the hottest teams in the league, and nobody thought, playing against the #1 seed Formosa Dreamers, that they would be able to sweep the Dreamers, especially get game 1 at home.
At the same time, of course, tie the series up and one win away from a return trip to the finals as Doug Herring makes good on 2 free throws. Malcolm White did pick up foul number 2. He is on the bench as Moses Morgan's going to see his first action. So Romeo Travis is now going to play center for this squad. He's at 6'5", but doesn't show it right there.
This is where Mono Vampire has the advantage in terms of depth of their bench. Now that Malcolm White was in foul trouble, Morgan comes in, but they are still a pretty big squad in terms of average height. That's a nice penetration there from Freddie Leash.
Firman Nugro seeing his first action of the game as the BTN CLS Knights go big. Drive by Jawato, finds Wong Wei Long, and this time he comes up short, and a chance to regain the lead for Mono.
And you know, Noel, interesting move here as Coach Brian Rosom matching up, pulling out Daryl Watkins.
Singletary can't get his second 3 of the game. Long rebound goes to the Long Ranger. Wong Wei Long. Now Doug Herring wants to quicken the pace. Wants an ISO now against Freddie Leash. Freddie's played great so far in this series. Pass out by Wong Wei Long was read that time. Tyler Lamb almost with his 3rd steal of the game, but will run out of real estate.
Would have been the 4th steal of the game for Mono Vampire. You see the defense of Mono. Whenever Doug Herring or one of the other players from BTN tries to post up, they collapse inside the paint. Not worried about the 3-point shooting of guys other than Doug Herring, Max Yesho, and Wong Wei Long.
And so far the 3-point shooting has been evened out at this point. When Doug Herring, of course, wants to add to that, and he does.
That was a good challenge there on the part of Singletary, just better offense on the part of Doug Herring.
Freddie Leash on the penetration, momentarily bobbles, gets it outside, Singletary on the sidestep. They move it out to Tyler Lamb, wanting to get that 3 back. Romeo Travis tracking that one down. Now Travis gets the post up against Jawato. They drop down to a zone double teamed, and they throw it away, taken away now by Doug Herring, one of the leading contenders for Defensive Player of the Year. Herring on the pull-up, back-to-back threes.
One of the guys that we can really catch fire here, Doug Herring, had a game where he had 8 triples in the regular season. Back-to-back triples right now.
And you mentioned this earlier, Marco. You do not want to have the Knights off to a good start. This is their largest lead of the game. 18-11. Mono Vampire calls time. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here on the ABL. It really sounds like New Year's Day inside this building, especially now because of the back-to-back threes coming from Doug Herring. The Knights have built an 18-11 lead, and that was a quick timeout by Coach Tong of Mono Vampire.
And just like that, 6-0 run here for the home squad. They've already connected on 4 triples, 4 out of 5 from long distance.
And Max Yasho hasn't even gotten involved there. Travis has scored a bulk of the points here for Mono in the first.
Romeo Travis, one of the bright spots here for Mono Vampire. Nice penetrating pass there from Tyler Lamb. Good move on the part of Travis.
Watkins is back, posting up now on Singletary. Singletary gets a piece of that one. They get it out. Perimeter, Jay. And if the locals get involved, Febrio Tumo coming off the bench and knocks it down immediately.
And I believe that is Arif Hidayat.
Okay,
Who
yeah.
had 11 points in game one. It was one of the sparks. Good start for him.
Nice pass once again. Travis this time overshoots the layup. 8-point lead is the largest of the game for the BTN CLS Knights. Doug Herring. And he is turned back by Mike Singletary, but they keep the ball.
And you know, despite the great defense there on the part of Singletary, Doug Herring so good at putting pressure on the defense, keeping them on their heels. That time attacking the defense before they were set.
2:07 to play here in this action-packed first quarter. Knights starting to shoot well from the outside. Big catalyst for this 8-point lead. Here's Watkins. Trying to get it over to Jawato. Penetration move. That one is good off the glass. Brandon Jawato again.
And so far, this is the highest scoring first quarter of the BTN CLS Knights with 23 points here in this series.
Bank shot 3. How about that? Banks are open on Sunday for Tyler Lamb.
And that was a big shot, much needed 3-point shot for Mono Vampire just to try to stem this run.
Hidayat throws that one away. And they go full throttle right now with Tyler Lamb looking at his rearview mirror and missed the layup. Travis is fouled. That is like a moral victory of sorts for the BTN CLS Knights. They were outnumbered on that fast break.
And you can see Coach Brian Rosum there trying to signal to Arif Hidayat just to stay within his game, stay in control. That time, that wayward pass resulting in a turnover and possibly 2 points from the line here for Romeo Travis.
See that one again, boy. All of a sudden, some hesitation shown by Tyler Lamb, and Esho slapped with a foul.
First personal foul on Maxi Esho, only the first team foul for the Knights. Fast-paced game we've had so far here in the first quarter, Noel.
Romeo Travis is carrying the load offensively so far for Mono Vampire. Splits the free throws, rebound Esho.
7 points in the game for Romeo Travis, leading scorer for Mono Vampire. And
Here's that if he did, yeah.
Here's that matchup with Freddie Leash, which Leash really took advantage of in game 2 in Thailand.
Step back, Herring, oh my goodness. The BTN CLS Knights are on a different level in this building. And going the other way, Travis is turned back by Watkins. Fast break going the other way, Herring has it poked away. And it's taken away by Singletary. Singletary now leading the attack. It's a 2-on-3. And Watkins had no choice but to give up the foul.
And that's a good move there on the part of Singletary, attacking the body of Daryl Watkins. That's going to be the second, or only the first personal foul rather, on Daryl Watkins. But Singletary is going to head to the line. Remember in game 2, Noel, he was 14 of 15 from the free throw stripe.
They gave the earlier foul to Arif Hidayat as we see this one again. Boy, Mike Singletary has been a veteran in this league for quite a while. Was in that finals lineup last year when Mono Vampire lost to San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, and he knocks down his first free throw. So when you talk about championship experience for Mono Vampire, he's leading the way.
That is correct, and he's averaging about 25 points per game, shoots it at close to 80% from the charity stripe, knocks down those 2 free throws, brings them back to within 6.
25-19, coming up on 40 seconds to go here in the first. Pick and roll action. Oh, that's a missed layup that time from Daryl Watkins.
Good challenge on the part of Travis.
We go to the other side right now for Tyler Lamb. Singletary fakes the 3, almost the second personal right there on Watkins as Romeo Travis gets away again.
And one good thing for Mono Vampire, despite the run of the Knights, they have kept their composure, and right now, lead is down to just 4 points.
Esho still looking for his first 3 today. Moves it closer. Arif Hidayat knocked one down earlier, but misses this time. And that will be last touched on by Singletary.
And you know, despite the earlier connection of Hidayat, those are the shots that you would rather BTN CLS Knights take.
Mike Singletary trying to pull a fast one. Our crew chief, Miguel of the Philippines. Sandy Cornyawan in the game for the first time for the Knights.
And you remember, he was also a spark for the Knights in game 2, but that's going to be, or they were not aware of the shot clock and game clock, so first quarter ends.
And it is the BTN CLS Knights hanging on to a 4-point lead, 25-21 against Mono Vampire. Second quarter when we return. Start of the second in just a few moments. It is the BTN CLS Knights up 25-21. Noel Zarate alongside Marco Benitez. The last game of the semifinals, and the winner goes on to face the Singapore Slingers. Of course, whoever wins in this matchup, Marco, will have the home court disadvantage in the finals.
Singapore Slingers was the number 3 seed in the regular season, so whichever team wins, Singapore will still have home court advantage. In that first quarter, Noel, BTN CLS Knights actually winning the battle of the boards, 14-7 advantage in terms of rebounding, also 8-1 advantage in terms of second chance points. So that rebounding area where they lost in the first couple of games, right now they have turned to their favor.
Now the question is, can they sustain that? Maxi Esho was able to draw the foul from Romeo Travis and gets to the free throw line. And it's been gang rebounding, actually.
Yeah.
You know, the taller team it could be the BTN CLS Knights, but it has been the gang rebounding of Mono Vampire that has been one of the major factors why they won the rebounding duel in the first 2 games.
That is correct. And of course, the 3-point shooting, which is the primary weapon of the Knights, 5 of 7 from long distance. Remember, in their game 2 loss, they only had 8 triples in total for the entire game. Right now, they already have 5.
They're on pace for 20 right now. As 2 free throws are dropped by Esho. How about Freddie Leach splitting the defense and getting the layup?
Nice penetrating dribble there from Freddie Leach, just beating the defense of 2 CLS defenders.
And lead back down to 4. So we are just underway here in the second. Arif Hidayat. Not this time. And that's going to be number 2 on Daryl Watkins.
And you notice how Mike Singletary is defending the biggest player on the BTN CLS Knights, because Daryl Watkins is playing from the outside. It's Romeo Travis defending against Maxi Esho.
And if you guys are looking for Malcolm White, he's still on the bench after picking up 2 early fouls in the first quarter. 27-23 lead now for the Knights. Moving it around once again. Tyler Lamb hit a 3 earlier. Hits another one here.
Nobody within 5 feet of Tyler Lamb as CLS shifted to a bit of a man zone with Daryl Watkins committing his second personal foul.
8 minutes and 48 remaining here in the second. 27-26. BTN CLS Knights lead is down to just one. Another miss by Esho. And it looks like Hidayat touched that one last.
Maxi Esho sort of bailing the defense or bailing out the defense of Mono Vampire without even trying to penetrate, allowing Romeo Travis to challenge that shot well.
Well, he hasn't recalibrated the gun yet as Wong Wei Long checks back in for Arif Hidayat. So a chance to reclaim the lead after being down 8 points just a few moments ago, Marco.
And that's when you talk about championship experience or finals experience, as Mono Vampire was able to maintain their composure, and right now with a chance to get back that lead.
Oh, what a crossover by Freddie Leash. Just missed the shot. Travis with another rebound, and he did well to avoid the ricochet. And he's seeing if the fans are okay. Looks like he's having a spat with one of the fans over there at the baseline.
And Romeo Travis has been at the forefront of this fight back of the Mono Vampire Basketball Club. As you mentioned, one of the most mild-mannered imports you've seen in the region.
Yeah, but when it's time to win, it's time to win. And Freddie Leash goes over to that fan, gives him a piece of his mind as well. As we now have our first look at Darongpan Apiron Vilay China. Plum did a great job on defense in game 2.
Frustrating Doug Herring. He's going to be assigned against Doug Herring. And he was frustrating Doug Herring all game long, or all second half long in particular, in Thailand.
So it'll be Tyler Lamb inbounding in front of all of those. I believe those are covers for the pots. Making a lot of noise. Travis can't get it to go. And Esho clears for the Knights. Esho pushing this one up. Sandy Corniawan moves to another side and misses that one. Daryl Watkins unmolested for the rebound. Follow-up is not there. Bell for the rebound, picked up by Lamb.
Sorry miss there on the part of Daryl Watkins. Nobody there to challenge that putback.
And Travis offline on that one.
A little early in the shot clock, that jump shot from Romeo Travis. Nobody there to get that offensive rebound.
Now you have to remember that Travis is still playing center for this team right now, in the absence of Malcolm White, who's still on the bench nursing those 2 fouls. 7:36 to play here in the second. Away from play, Moses Morgan getting it tackled with Doug Herring.
So right now the matchups are Moses Morgan on Doug Herring, Apiron Vilay Chai on Wong Wei Long.
That's going to change pretty soon. So it's getting a little chippy between these two teams early, and rightfully so, of course, because this is an all-or-nothing game.
That's right. And, of course, Doug Herring has been known as one of the more vocal players on this BTN CLS Night squad. That's going to be a traveling violation on Maxi Esho slipping on a wet spot.
And Maxi Esho did not want to relinquish the ball to an orange shirt, just rolled it out of bounds. I don't know if he's going to get a warrant for this one, but now, here come the mop men once again. Very early. I'm not sure if it's raining yet outside, but we do have forecast of rain here today in Surabaya.
That's just the humidity, as well as the packed crowd that we have contributing to the humidity inside the gym. That's going to be turnover number 7 for the home squad.
Now let's paint a picture, Marco, for our fans about where we are right now here at the Gorkarta Giant Gym. This is not an air-conditioned gym. There is air conditioning, but it's for the players on the floor. So the crowd here is relying on a lot of electric fans to keep themselves cool, but at the same time, the moisture is now spreading onto the floor.
That's been one of the reasons why this venue is one of the toughest courts to play in if you're a visiting squad.
Only 3 teams have won here in this building all season long. The Saigon Heat, San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, and the Singapore Slingers, as Romeo Travis lost the ball. So even the ball's getting slippery right now.
Apart from the floor getting a lot of moisture from the players, from the sweat dripping from the players, also the ball coming from the perspiration. That's going to be one thing that they're going to have to face. It's going to be one challenge that they're going to be facing here in this game.
Brian Rossum's going to call a timeout. Knights still clinging on to the lead, but it's only a 1-pointer. 27-26. More action from Game 3 when we return. BTN CLS Knights starting to struggle on offense in this one. They've only scored 2 points so far. Mono Vampires nipping at their heels at this point, Marco.
And you know, both teams, Noel, struggling on offense because the defense has picked up. Mono Vampire with 5 points. CLS Knights only 2 points here so far in the second quarter.
Wong Wei Long is going to bring it down. Coming up on 7 minutes remaining here in the second.
Tyler Lamb matched up against Wong Wei Long. Travis still on Maxi Esho, and Singletary still defending against Daryl Watkins.
And again, Maxi Esho loses possession.
That's going to be another turnover number 8 for the Knights.
And that was an unforced turnover at that. Moses Morgan lights it up from beyond the arc, and Mono is finally back on top by 2.
And that time when the defense was not yet set, good forward pass there on the part of Tyler Lamb.
Joato can't get it to go. And battle for the rebound goes back to Mono.
CLS Knights looking a little lost on offense there. That time one-on-one play coming from Brandon Jawato.
Singletary, his pass telegraphed. They get it back. Morgan finding Darumpana Piron Vilay-Chai, and he's in trouble.
Nowhere to go there for Apiron Vilay-Chai. Was looking to initially drop it off to Romeo Travis, but the defense was ready.
6:28 to go here in the second. So Tyler Lamb inbounding from the baseline once again. Apiron Vilay-Chai can't get it off. Tyler Lamb can, and Tyler Lamb overshoots this time.
That's a forced shot there on the part of Tyler Lamb. Well covered by Jawato.
Herring setting the table once again. No movement on offense for the BTN CLS Knights, except that Wong Wei Long was wide open. Another miss, and you get the sense, Marco, that the Knights are trying too much from the outside.
They're settling for outside shots as Apiron Vilay-Chai so far has been the rover, that time helping out on the inside and then rushing out to challenge that long distance shot from Wong Wei Long.
Bench players starting to come in now for the BTN CLS Knights.
Coach Brian Rosam looking for a spark off the bench. That's an early entry, I believe, from Utomo.
There's Moses Morgan. Morgan puts it on the floor. Morgan on the drive. Morgan gets it to go, plus the foul.
That's a smart move there on the part of Moses Morgan, attacking the guy who is cold off the bench. That's a Febri Utomo who had just entered the ball game. So Morgan will troop to the line for an extra free throw. Chance to up the lead to 5 points. So far, Mono Vampire has outscored the CLS Knights 8-2 here in the second quarter.
And he does complete it.
And Moses Morgan picking up Doug Herring on their defensive end. That's going to be another slip there on the part of Jawato.
Jumper by Esho, too strong, and all of a sudden the Knights are running out of options on offense, at least this early. Mono's got their biggest lead of the game at 5. Singletary can't add to it.
Oh, Travis looks like he tweaked that left ankle.
And there's a bit of a bump here between Darumpana Piron Vilay-Chai and Herring. They're going to call a double foul on this play, Marco. 5 minutes and 25 seconds remaining. That's going to be the first on Herring, though.
And you know that Apiron Vilay-Chai will not mind that personal foul because that's his job to really get under the skin of Doug Herring.
He still has 4 more fouls to give up in that case. So 3 team fouls apiece. Pressure being shown in the backcourt by Mono. Here's Febrio Tumo seeing his first action of the game.
And you know, uncharacteristic of the BTN CLS Knights, they're looking a little bit lost here, Noel, on the offensive end. That's a nice block on the part of Romeo Travis.
But that's going to be number 2 on Darumpana Piron Vilay-Chai. And more importantly, that's team foul number 4 for Mono Vampire. We're not even at the halfway mark of the second quarter yet.
You have to give a lot of credit to the defense of Romeo Travis. He has really put the clamps on Maxi Esho. Esho, after 4 points in the first quarter, has yet to score here in the second.
Oh, they force another one right here. Tyler Lamb now showing his fangs on defense.
And again, mostly one-on-one plays coming from the BTN CLS Knights. Jawato trying to take Lamb off the dribble. Remember, this guy was one of the top steals getters here in the ABL a couple of seasons ago.
That is right. Travis trying it with the right hand this time. Good defense at the rim by the Knights, and here comes Maxi Esho. Esho going to the corner. Otomo gets it out to Wong Wei Long. Still can't shoot. Esho. His first three of the game is a bank shot.
Big shot there on the part of Maxi Esho, more so for the timing, as that is only their 5th point here in the second quarter.
Singletary can't answer. Travis with the rebound. Immediate post up against Esho, but Travis forced it to a bad shot.
And Travis is a little bit gassed out here, as he has not seen any rest in the first half, and he has really pounded the ball inside the paint.
And Malcolm White is not being used at all here in the second quarter. Wong Wei Long on the drive. Wong Wei Long, not this time. And a jump ball is called. Possession arrow is going to go to Mono.
And, the Knights are really just trying to force the ball inside. A lot of one-on-one plays, which Mono Vampire has been able to defend well.
Well, Mono Vampire still up with his small lineup, 32-30.
Daryl Watkins is not going to play significant minutes, or is not going to try to attack the post. Mono can definitely afford to play with his smaller lineup.
Oh, Darumpana Piron Vilay at the right place at the right time. Can't get it to go. Moses Morgan can't get the follow-up. And now a chance to tie or take the lead for the BTN CLS Knights. But again, active hands for Darumpana Piron Vilay breaking that one up.
You have to give a lot of credit to Apiron Vilay, not giving up on the play despite back-to-back misses from Mono Vampire on their offensive end.
And 32-30, still for Mono. The visitors controlling this second quarter. Herring now picked up by Singletary. Herring on the drive, and we have a tie game. Mono trying to go counter fast break. Three-pointer in and out for Tyler Lamb. And another opportunity for the Knights to reclaim the lead. Esho on the pull-up. And Lamb couldn't control it. Oh, Wong Wei Long!
And that could be a turning point here in the first half. Instead of being able to save the basketball, he saves it to Wong Wei Long. 5-point swing for the BTN CLS Knights.
And a 3-point lead for the home team, 35-32. Timeout, Mono Vampire. Two minutes and change remaining here in the second quarter. 2 minutes and 48 to be exact. Knights 35, Mono Vampire 32. Freddie Leash lost the ball, and this is coming off a timeout, but they will say it's a foul on the Knights.
There's a tendency of Freddie Leash to sometimes play out of control. That time they were lucky that he was not called for an offensive foul. It's been an 8-2 or 8-3 run in favor of the BTN CLS Knights, and they have recaptured or regained the lead to go up by 3.
But regaining the lead right now, or regaining possession actually now, is Mono Vampire. Inbounding right now, Freddie Leash. Tyler Lamb turns the corner. Lamb on the stretch, gets it to go, plus the foul.
And there you see the veteran smarts of Tyler Lamb. He saw that it was Febri Otomo defending him off that ball screen, turned the corner, attacking the basket hard, drawing the foul, and getting the basket.
So a chance to tie for Mono Vampires. We see this again, Marco.
And without Daryl Watkins on the floor, no shot blocker on the part of the BTN CLS Knights. Watkins averages about 1.5 blocks per ball game.
Lamb ties it up at 35. So as expected, this game, nobody's really giving an inch here, Marco.
That's right, and you know, after being down in the battle of points in the paint, Mono Vampire right now doubling up 16-8 in terms of points in the paint.
And think about it, there's no Malcolm White on the floor, and they're still getting that done. Deep three, Herring, in and out. Follow-up is good. And that was just great positioning by Brandon Jawato.
Nobody there to box out Brandon Jawato. Can't afford those mistakes.
Lamb.
Yep, especially here in the BTN CLS Knights home court.
Lamb they say Lamb touched it last. 2:03 to go here in the second. So Knights 37, Mono Vampire 35. Pressure once again shown in the backcourt.
This is a point in the first half where CLS Knights have to execute their offense.
Febri Otomo. Febri almost traveled that time. Gets it out now to Jawato. And that one is lost by Jawato. It goes back to Mono.
Again, another pick off from Tyler Lamb. That's possibly his second steal. Check that, make that his third steal of the game.
Right. Travis is huffing and puffing already at this point. I wonder, Marco, and maybe we could give us an educated guess why Malcolm White's not yet on the floor.
Well, I think Coach Tong sees that they're not at a disadvantage without Malcolm White, sees that his team is so far hanging in there, does not want him to pick up his third personal foul. That's my educated guess.
That sounds good. But the problem is Mono is still down by 2. They're now down by 4. Lish, oh nice seal by Romeo Travis. Series of fakes, lost possession, and they get it back. Lish, straightaway 3 is a miss. Saved by Morgan. And it goes over to Tyler Lamb. Lamb, give it continuation.
And again, another good decision there on the part of Tyler Lamb. Sizing up his man, putting the ball on the floor. No shot blocker for BTN. CLS Knights, another basket and another foul picked up by Tyler Lamb.
See that one again. I'm telling you, the guys with championship experience starting to shine for Mono Vampire. Romeo Travis in the first quarter, and now Tyler Lamb picking up the slack in the second.
And they were lucky that Moses Morgan was able to save the ball because Freddie Leash had an ill-advised shot, just waited for the defense and then launched a triple from top of the key.
You have less than a minute to go here in the second. Knights lead down to 1, 39-38. And some subs coming in as well. So again, pressure in the backcourt for the ties. And now bringing it down is Herring. Herring working against Moses Morgan. Lost the ball. Into the front court. Tyler Lamb can't finish. Rebound picked up by Singletary, blocked from behind, but they're going to call a foul on the Knights.
Another turnover by the BTN CLS Knights leading to a fast break opportunity. for Mono Vampire, and Singletary not giving up on the play. Gets another offensive rebound, goes up strong, picks up a foul.
And free throws again. As you mentioned, 80% free throw shooter during the regular season for Mike Singletary. Knocks down the first here.
That was turnover number 11 for the Knights. Mono Vampire has done an excellent job taking care of the basketball. Only 2 turnovers in the game so far.
Singletary good on 2 once again. Mono has reclaimed the lead. 35 seconds to go here in the second. Oh, Wong Wei Long eluding the defense but can't get it to go. Freddie Leash, full head of steam, and Morgan has it stripped, and it's stolen by Doug Herring.
Talk about presence of mind by Doug Herring. Chance for them to take the last shot of the first half.
Herring has played without rest as well here in the first half. 10 seconds to go. Herring, Morgan on him. Herring to the side, and the three-pointer is short, coming from Arif Hidayat. And grazing the ring that time was Tyler Lamb. But Mono Vampire leading by 1 at halftime in a place they have never won before. 40-39. And we will be back for more action from Game 3 of the semis in the ASEAN Basketball League. $40-39 at the half. As we take a look at some numbers from that first half of action, Mono hanging on to a 1-point lead, Marco. Let's talk about these numbers.
And one thing that stands out well, 11 turnovers by the BTN CLS Knights, very uncharacteristic of them. They've already given up 12 turnover points to Mono Vampire. One of the reasons why Mono was able to get the lead back despite the 3-point shooting of the BTN CLS Knights, 7 of 15 from long distance compared to just 4 out of 12 for Mono Vampire. 40% from the field for the Knights, just 33% for the visiting squad.
And of course for the Mono Vampire, they were actually down by 8 points at one point, led by 5. It has been a seesaw affair so far, but they have actually survived all of this with Malcolm White on the bench nursing 2 fouls, and it seems that Coach Tong has stumbled onto something here.
Oh, they've only played 7 guys this entire ball game. Apart from their starting 5, it's only Apiron Vilaichai and Moses Morgan who have played off the bench. So let's see if Coach Tong starts Malcolm White out here in the third quarter. Remember, it was in game 1 where CLS really outscored them 23-8 in that third quarter. That is what Mono wants to avoid, another explosive third quarter for the Knights.
And they have kept that 3-point shooting for the BTN CLS Knights down. At one point, they were 4 or 5. BTN CLS Knights were 4 or 5 from beyond the arc. That number has gone down significantly in the second quarter.
That's right, and one thing that Mono has been able to do is get to the foul line. They're 8 of 9 from the stripe, while the Knights have only gone to the line 4 times, although they've made all 4 of their free throw attempts. Knights have also done a better job rebounding the basketball. 29 rebounds compared to 19 for Mono Vampire usually in the area that they usually dominate. But again, it's been the turnovers, just 2 turnovers for Mono Vampire, 11 turnovers already for the home squad.
So what will be the catalyst in this third quarter for both teams? I mean, Mono's only hanging on to a 1-point lead here. They are on the road, but what needs to change for CLS first?
Well, I think first of all for CLS, Noel, they have to pound the ball inside, get Daryl Watkins involved, possibly pick up a third personal for Malcolm White. The same is true for Mono Vampire. They have so far been the better team in terms of scoring points inside the paint. That inside game of theirs will open up the outside for the 3-point shooting of Singletary and Tyler Lamb.
And Freddie Leash as well.
Has to play within his game. He has to stay in control. Cannot take those ill-advised shots because that's going to feed into the transition game of the Knights.
So we are moments away from the start of this third period. 40 for Mono, 39 for the CLS Knights, and one team will walk away with a victory, a date with the Singapore Slingers. Singapore Slingers in their third final in the last 4 years. But who is going to make it? We will find out right now as the second half gets underway. Once again, Noel Zarate alongside Marco Benitez, coming to you live from the Gorkartajaya Gymnasium here in Surabaya, Indonesia. First possession belongs to the Knights. Malcolm White back in and immediately attacked that time by Daryl Watkins.
And exactly what we talked about. First possession of the third quarter, they go down into Daryl Watkins attacking.
That's
Malcolm
a great
White in the
backdoor
paint.
play though for Tyler Lamb, Marco.
Great backdoor off that horn set for the Mono Vampire.
So seesaw game to begin the third here for both teams. Here's Esho on the drive. Esho challenged well, almost got it to go, and Malcolm White's presence is now being felt.
Yeah, another excellent defensive stop there on the part of Romeo Travis as he picked up Maxi Esho. Only 7 points so far for Maxi Esho in this game. Remember, he's the leading scorer of the Knights.
But he's able to force a turnover that time. So 42-41, a minute gone by in the third.
So now it's a Singletary picking up Doug Herring. This is what they did in the second half of game 2.
Watkins wanting to post up, gets it over to Jowato for 3.
Second triple of the game. So far perfect from long distance is Brandon Jowato.
And the Knights have a 2-point lead, 44-42. Freddie Leash, the former CLS Knight, almost taking it away once again are the Knights. Malcolm White on the drive, bothered there by Watkins. He's looking for a foul. Nice defense by the Knights. And here comes Herring into the front court, almost throws it away. Leash tracks it down. They get it over to White. And here's Romeo Travis with a bobble. They will reset. No, Tyler Lamb says, let's fire it up. And White with the offensive glass. Travis looking for a friend. Doing the post up. Throws it away again. And a foul given up. Boy, it's getting a little sloppy here in the third.
That's a Judy foul there on the part of Freddie Leash. And again, one of the few turnovers, one of the few mistakes that Romeo Travis has committed in this game.
You have to remember, only 3 turnovers in the first half for Mono Vampire. They've picked up 2 early here in the third, and more importantly, they have lost the lead.
There you see how explosive this Knights squad is if they can play as a team. And remember, in that latter portion of the second quarter, they started to rely on those one-on-one plays, started to settle for jump shots as well.
44-42, BTN CLS Knights, under 8 minutes to go in the third. Watkins puts it on the floor once again, trying to bait that third foul from Malcolm White. Malcolm White stays clean, but Watkins gets it to go.
And again, back-to-back post-up plays, back-to-back baskets coming from Daryl Watkins. Another turnover here.
Wow. Shawato off to the races. Oh, can't get it to go though. That was actually Doug Herring who missed. Lamb across, Singletary on the fake. Gets it out again to Tyler Lamb. They will be patient this time. Uh-oh, Freddie Leash left open for three, and he will miss once again.
Multiple opportunities to find the ball inside or feed the ball inside, and you end up with Freddie Leash taking that outside shot. Not a good possession there for the Mono Vampire.
Here's Esho. He's looking for the foul, none was called. He might have a case.
Referees allowing the players to slug it out here in game 3.
Lamb left open, Lamb for three, good!
And that's what you talk about. That's what you mean when you say championship or playoff experience. Tyler Lamb knowing when to explode. 17 points already for Tyler Lamb.
And how many three-pointers has this young man achieved in this game?
That's the third triple for the former Hong Kong Eastern star player.
Another turnover against the Knights. Singletary, a long three is off. And Wong Wei Long wants to slow things down. This pace is starting to get frenetic here in the third. Wong Wei Long is going to be bumped by Freddie Leash.
That's good. That foul is going to go against Freddie Leash, trying to fight over that screen of Daryl Watkins. So far, what Mono has not been able to do is try to feed the ball inside to Malcolm White.
Malcolm White has 0 attempts here.
Remember, he had 18 points in game 2, 10 points in game 1. So far, just 4 points in this game.
Now we're going to have a new player come in now for the BTN CLS.
That's
for Mono Vampire.
Number 79. He's going to come in, play defense against Wong Wei Long.
But he's also a pretty good shooter. Jawato tries to get creative that time. Travis with the rebound, and here comes Lamb. Lamb on the sidestep. Lamb blocked from behind. And ball goes back to the Indonesians.
Credit Maxi Esho for not giving up on the play, chasing down that block.
It's 46-45. CLS up by 1. No foul called that time. Wong Wei Long.
That play actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise, as no foul was called.
Travis in trouble. And they turn it over again. 4 turnovers after only 3 in the first half. For Mono, Herring off the glass.
And that's what you do not want to happen if you're Mono Vampire. Sloppy play on one end turns into a 4-point swing.
And that crowd chanting defense here at the Golkarta Jaya Gymnasium. Tuarosh left open for 3, knocks it down.
What a big three-pointer off the bench for Tuarosh.
And he is in there for his shooting touch as well, cuts the lead in half. 51 for the Indonesians, 48 for the Thais. Esho can't step back, and he lost the ball again.
And you know, as long as Romeo Travis stays on the ground, he's able to play great defense against Maxi Esho.
Singletary down to White. This is his first attempt in the second half. First attempt since the first quarter, and he comes up short.
Yep, looking a little cold off the bench is Malcolm White. Remember, he's only played about 6 minutes in this game.
Herring gets it across in time as we come up on 4 minutes to go in the third. Knights up by 3. Isolation now. Herring on against Travis. Herring gets a screen and knocks it down.
That's a defensive miscommunication there. Nobody showing on that ball screen.
Tuaraj will set it up now for Mono. Tuaraj using the Malcolm White screen. Tuaraj lost the ball.
And you got to stay in control if you're Tuaraj.
53-48. BTN CLS Knights up by 5. Herring gets away and scores.
I remember that explosive third quarter in game 1. So far, they have outscored Mono Vampire 14-8 here in the third.
Timeout called by Mono. The lead is 7 for the BTN CLS Knights, 55-48. It is a football atmosphere inside the Gorkert Jaya Gymnasium. Let's take a look at some plays that went by so far here. The third, Wong Wei Long lighting it up from beyond the arc, blows a kiss to the crowd, and Doug Herring starting to take over as the defense comes late for Mono Vampire.
Doug Herring already with 20 points on 8 of 11 from the field, 6 rebounds, a steal, an assist, although he has committed 5 turnovers in this game. But he has led his team to grab a bit of a breathing room here in the third quarter with a 7-point lead.
This guy reminds me a lot of Rod Strickland, to be honest with you.
That's right.
Quick first step. And if he scores 50, we can call him Eric Sleepy Floyd. Could be on pace for that with 20 points. But more importantly, they're up by 7. Noel Zarate alongside Marco Benitez. Live from Surabaya, Indonesia. Malcolm White, they sag on him. Moses Morgan back in now for the Mono Vampire squad. Travis on the post-up. This was effective in the first quarter. Travis on the fall-away, bothered by the defense. And they come up empty once again.
And again, underrated post defender is Doug Herring. That time just staying in front, forcing Romeo Travis to a fadeaway.
Nearing 3 minutes to go here in the third. Knights wanting to add to this lead. Their largest lead was at 8 points. Herring gives them their biggest lead of the game.
Credit half that basket to that solid pick set by Daryl Watkins at the top of the key.
57-48. Under 3 minutes to play in the third. White. Travis wanting a clear out, but passes it up to Singletary. Singletary against 3 purple shirts. Travis trying to sky high for the rebound, and a jump ball is called.
And I believe ball is going to go to the BTN CLS Knights. And so far, Mono Vampire has looked a little lost on offense.
And Romeo Travis, well, they say it will be Mono Vampire basketball.
Stay with Mono Vampire, so that's a lucky break for them.
Malcolm White goes back to the bench, ineffective today after sitting out practically the entire, or actually sitting out the entire second quarter.
So far, he is 2 out of 7 from the field.
Inbounds play goes to Lamb. Lamb deep 3. And Travis collects another one. Get it out to Morgan, who lost the ball. Esho into the front court. Esho almost has to earn it from the free throw line, but you gotta give the aggression this time to the home team.
And remember, Mono Vampire had only committed 3 turnovers the entire first half.
Yes.
They already have 5 here in the third quarter.
Take a look at that once again. Tyler Lamb trying to stop a rampaging Maxi Esho. Now, if Maxi Esho can kick it into gear here in the third, that's almost guaranteeing a win already for the BTN CLS Knights.
They have evened up the points off turnovers category, 12-12. Maxi Esho has a chance to add to that.
But he does not on that trip. You know, right beside us to our left here at the commentary booth, the Mono Vampire squad actually have a big contingent led by a bunch of drummers. And they're making a lot of noise here as well.
One of the reasons why we can hardly hear each other here in Gorkert Jaya.
Knights now up by 10, 58-48.
And they have tied the biggest lead of the game so far.
Lamb again quells it the same way he did in the first quarter.
Fourth triple of the game for Tyler Lamb, brings him up to 20 points. The only player in double figures for Mono Vampire.
That's a surprise the way Travis played in the first quarter. Good seal by Watkins, but dribbles on his foot. Esho recovers. Esho ate the shoot, gets it back to Watkins, and a foul acknowledged by Mike Singletary.
And you have to give a lot of credit to the BTN CLS Knights. They continue to pound the ball, try to pound the ball inside to Daryl Watkins. That time, picking up the first personal foul on Singletary.
We see this one again. That's a bit of an unselfish play there coming from Maxi Esho. He had the shot, but wanted to reward Watkins for being in position. Talk about having good defense, playing good defense without fouling. BTN CLS Knights have 0 team fouls here in the third. Mono Vampire is at the limit already.
That one though, only the first free throw attempt for Daryl Watkins. He's 2 for 2 in the game.
60-51, under 2 minutes to play in the third. Freddie Leash, quiet today. Leash gets it over to Travis. Back to Leash, almost lost it. Gets it back, 8 to shoot. Lamb puts it on the floor. Lamb inside to Travis, and Travis gets away.
Turning garbage into gold there is Tyler Lamb. Almost nothing happening on that play.
Esho almost had a clear path to the hoop, and Romeo Travis realized there was nobody behind him on defense, gives up the foul. However, that's going to put Mono over the limit.
That's going to be the second personal foul on Romeo Travis. He has done a good job managing his fouls despite playing the entire game so far. Leash has 2, White has 2, Apirabilay Chai has 2, and now Romeo Travis with 2 personals.
And Romeo Travis is playing center for Mono Vampire right now, and Maxi Esho is having an issue at the free throw line. Not used to seeing him miss this much.
So far, Maxi Esho, 3 out of 5 from the charity stripe.
4 out of 6. Restores an 8-point lead, 61-53. 1:08 to play once again here in the third. Leash, now guarded by Wong Wei Long, gets a good screen. His pass batted away, another turnover.
That one was well read by the BTN CLS Knights.
Cornyawan back in. Wong Wei Long drops it over to Nugroho, who's also back in. Herring, Wong Wei Long, yes!
You could see that play unfolding the moment Mono got into a miscommunication on defense. That's the last guy you want to leave open.
11-point lead now for the BTN CLS Knights, and they almost force another turnover. And Brian Rousum saying nobody touched it.
And both teams complaining to the referee. CLS asking for the ball to go their side. Romeo Travis asking for a foul. And this is playoff basketball.
Look at those pot covers behind Freddie Leash. 30 seconds here in the third. Lamb inside to Travis. Travis fakes and scores.
Travis just muscling his way there against Firman Nugroho.
You have to remember, of course, Romeo Travis is one of the closest friends of one of the greatest basketball players alive, LeBron James.
Finally entering double digits with 11 points.
Sandy Cornyawan has it poked away. And with 3 seconds to go, Knights can have the last say.
There's about less than a second left on their shot clock as the shot clock reads 0-0.
Yeah, they do have 3 seconds remaining. Let's see if they can get this one off. Cornyawan on the inbound. Cornyawan gets it all the way out to Esho, and Esho is blocked by Travis to end the third. So if anything, That was a pretty good way to end the third on a defensive note for Mono Vampire. But the bad news is for Mono, they're down by 9 heading into the final 10 minutes. 64-55. Fourth quarter happens when we return. We are seconds away from the start of quarter number 4 and the final period in the season of one of these two teams. Mono Vampire down 9 against the BTN CLS Knights 64-55. Noel Zarate alongside Marco Benitez. And Mono has to dig deep here in this final period if they want a return to the finals.
And you know, Noel, the team that has won the third quarter so far in this series has gone on to win the ball game. In game 1, it was the BTN CLS Knights outscoring Mono Vampire 23-8. In game 2, as Wong Wei Long connects on an impossible three-point shot.
Again in this building, Marco, as you were making that point, the BTN CLS Knights set an ABL record for all-time most made three-pointers in a game with 22, and the guy at the free throw line is the all-time leading three-point field goal maker in the league. Wong Wei Long, 4-point play opportunity coming up.
That's going to be a foul on Freddie Leash. And as I was saying, in game 2, it was a 29-19 third quarter for Mono. This game, it was a 25-15 third quarter in favor of the Knights.
Three-pointer good this time for Sang Tong, who's seeing his first action of the game. Remember, he was also suspended for game number 2 in that incident involving Brandon Chawato.
And he's going to be matched up against Firma Nugroho inside the paint.
Both teams resting some of their starters at this point. Esho remains on the floor, however. Esho gets it out. Wong driving, and he is blocked that time by Sang Tong.
They're going to have 5 seconds left on the shot clock.
67-58, the lead is 9 for the BTN CLS Knights.
Wong Wei Long has already connected on 5 three-point attempts.
Herring beats the buzzer for 3.
Three-pointer number 12 for the Knights.
That is their highest three-point output in this series, and they're up by 12, make that down to 10 after Travis gets away again.
That's a good answer there on the part of Mono Vampire, but again, perimeter defense, we talked about it at the start of the ball game, is going to be key.
Herring obviously tuckered out at this point, but they need to win this one. Chawato offline and out.
Seems like every time the Knights launch a triple, has a good chance of going in.
Singletary met by the defense and lost the ball again.
Turnover number 11 for the Mono Vampire.
And 9 of them, or maybe that 8 of them, coming here in the second half as Wong Wei Long steps out of bounds.
And Coach Brian Rosam is livid, asking for a foul, for a block against Singletary.
And Darumpana Pero Vilay is saying, what's he talking about?
One of the few times that you see Coach Brian Rosam that livid.
Travis gets it down to Lamb. Lamb attacks. Lamb lost the ball. And a foul on Mono.
That's going to go against Romeo Travis. That's going to be his 3rd personal foul.
And still Malcolm White riding the bench for Mono Vampire. As they continue to go with this small lineup. But they are now down by 10.
So Malcolm White finally checking into the game with 7:56 remaining here in the 4th. They're going to need his defense. They're going to need his output inside.
They're going to need a few more dunks from him. Remember, he started this game with a dunk. He had about 4 of them in game 2. Esho, 12 to shoot. Isolated on Travis. Esho, 8 to shoot. Esho can't step into a jumper. Jawato, 4 on the shot clock. Herring comes up short. Rebound up in Vilay. And he's going to lead the break. Apiron Vilay gets it back inside. Reverse layup doesn't go. Malcolm White is there to get the offensive rebound. And almost lost it.
The players really having a hard time keeping their hands on the ball.
Singletary, no. Herring, rebound. Off to the races once again. Jawato fakes. Jawato can't shoot. And Herring does the wise thing.
Yep, wisely setting it back out as they have no need to rush with a 10-point lead.
Bounce pass inside. Watkins, Wong Wei Long, 7 on the shot clock. Wong, fall away. Jawato, air ball. A little bit of helter-skelter basketball there for the BTN CLS Knights. 3-pointer, Singletary.
What a big triple there on the part of Singletary just to settle down his wards.
Quick timeout called by Brian Rousem as Mono Vampire is within 7 at 70-63. We'll be right back. Crowd continues to be animated, and look at this sellout here at the Gorkartajaya Gymnasium. We got people at the steps already. That is called sitting room only.
They sense a big victory here with 6:42 remaining. Their home squad up by 7 points.
And I'm pretty sure Coach Neo Bengshak and Coach Michael Johnson are watching over there at Singapore, taking down notes on who their finals opponent might be. The finals begin on May 3 at the OCBC Arena in Singapore. One of these teams will be going for an ABL title. And Singapore, going back to the Slingers, 3 out of the 4 finals they were in, but they never won.
That's just a credit to the program, to the coaching. Coach Neo Bengshak, of course, with Michael Johnson. Xavier Alexander has been one of their stalwarts.
And Delvin Goh has had a monster season for the Slingers. But for these two teams, who's it going to be? Herring, momentarily open, can't knock it down, and White with the board.
No need to rush here if you're Mono Vampires. Still loads of time. 6 minutes is an eternity of basketball, and you're only down by 7 points.
Here's Singletary working the pick and roll with Malcolm White, who missed the layup, but is fouled on the way up.
And you know, Noel, especially with this type of humidity, this type of moisture, You want most of your shots close to the basket, as close to the basket as possible for a higher percentage.
Sandy Cornyawan tagged with a foul that time. So these free throws could get Malcolm White back in his rhythm. Remember, if you're just joining us, White picked up 2 fouls early in the first, sat out the entire second quarter, sat out a majority of the third, and his rhythm is completely off at this point.
First trip to the free throw line for Malcolm White. He's a 56% free throw shooter.
Second one is good. Two-possession lead, Marco.
Cuts it down to a 2-possession game.
6 minutes to go in the semifinals. Herring. Esho. Oh, foul taking a 3, a late whistle.
That's a big call. Going to be the 3rd personal foul, I believe, or make that 4th personal foul on Romeo Travis.
So let's see that challenge once again. It was a late whistle, but a correct call.
And Maxi Esho making sure that the referee saw that.
Now Esho's 4 of 6 from the free throw line today. And the Mono drummers distracting him a bit on that one.
Maxi Esho so far with 9 points, 2 of 8 from the field.
So they say it was just a 2-point field goal for Maxi Esho. His foot was on the line. Ups the lead to 7. 71-64. Singletary catching fire in the 4th.
What a big three-point shot from Michael Singletary. Goes up to 13. It's 3rd triple of the game. BTN CLS Knights just slowing the pace of this game down.
Mono is not going away without a fight. Herring almost taken away. It is taken away by Travis. And to the front court, Singletary. Romeo Travis can't finish. But that's going to be a foul on Daryl Watkins.
And how about the presence of mind there on the part of Romeo Travis, playing the passing lanes perfectly.
That's what he brings to the table, not really his offense, although he's pretty close to 20 points in this one. But it's his defensive intensity, his leadership on the floor, his leadership by example, actually.
As you mentioned, 15 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and a couple of blocks for Romeo Travis.
That would be his first steal of the game as well. So Travis, as we mentioned, comes up short on this one. One of the best friends of LeBron James. Played in the Philippine Basketball Association. Won a championship there last year.
All important free throws here for Mono Vampire.
Single possession lead with 5 and 10 remaining. Mono has never won in this building this season. They're 0 for 3. CLS has only lost 3 times in this building. Jawato gets it out, Wong Wei Long. Manufactured a foul up in Ombilay Chai. And there's blood coming out of the face of Wong Wei Long.
Looks like it's going to go against Malcolm White.
Oh, wow, Wong Wei Long looks like he was in a Muay Thai fight.
Looks like he got hit.
That's above the eyebrow.
Above the eyebrow.
I don't know the intensity of the foul given up there, but somebody could take the free throws instead. And this crowd seeing blood from one of their heroes getting all riled up now. Oh, it's on White.
That's a hard foul there on the part of Malcolm White.
It's his 3rd, and they'll call it an unsportsmanlike foul on Malcolm White upon further review.
And I believe that's a good call on the part of the referees.
I agree.
Excessive contact.
Remember, that kind of a foul got Brandon Jawano ejected in game 1 against Sangtong. But they're just going to say unsportsmanlike on this one. See it again here, Marco. Yeah, that elbow just came down. Oh, that's the best angle we've seen from it.
And just to give you an idea of the contact, sometimes it takes some time for the blood to come out.
Yeah.
But that time, the moment Wong Wei Long got up, immediately there was blood flowing from that wound.
That'll be foul number 3, however, excuse me, Marco, on Malcolm White.
It looks like it's going to be Sandy Corneawan that's going to take the free throws. But they're going to have to dress that wound pretty quickly if they want Wong Wei Long back in this game.
Oh yeah, talk about excessive contact. I'm not saying that Malcolm White had malicious intentions when he did that, but the result, I mean 6'9" going up against 5'9", and all that blood coming out of the former Singapore slinger. You see our commissioner there signaling to our crew chief what needs to happen next. So White has not been ejected from the game. In fact, he's still on the floor. And it is Sandy Corneawan who started game 2 in the absence of Brandon Jawato, taking his first free throws of the game.
Calmly hitting that first free throw. They're also going to get ball possession.
With 4:51 remaining in the fourth. Now a 2-possession lead for the BTN CLS Knights. 3-possession lead, or 2-possession lead still.
Those are actually his first points of the game. And then there's going to be 2 free throws because it was in the act of shooting.
Wow. So 2 more gift shots for Sandy Corneawan. And Travis is still trying to understand what the ruling is. But remember, we're using FIBA rules here. 3-possession lead.
Wow, Sandy Corneawan calmly hitting 4 straight free throws.
And ball possession stays with the Knights. 14 to shoot.
And now you got Apirong Vilay-Chai matched up against Doug Herring.
Doug Herring's not even asking for the ball. It's gonna be Asho setting this one up. Asho on the spin. Asho with the left hand, no. Gets it back, tries again, turned back by White. Third time around, still nothing. Rebound to Watkins, the 4th attempt drops. A 6-point offense for the Knights, and they're up by 9.
And that is big. That could be the turning point of this game.
Travis, White almost lost it, and Travis touched it last.
And Maxi Esho has not scored a lot of baskets in this game, but coming up with big defensive plays.
If you're Coach Tong and Mono, you know you're still in it. But you gotta forget about that 6-point offense earlier and concentrate on what needs to be done on defense. Watkins under 4 to play, and that is tapped out by Apirong Vilay-Chai. 10 to shoot now for the Knights.
What a big turnaround, Noel, from being up by just 3 points. Knights are now up by 9.
Our referee having a word with Apirong Vilay-Chai and Herring. 3:57 to go in game 3 of the semis. The winner moves on to the final. Herring, 3 to shoot. They get it out. Jawato in time. No. Rebound to White.
That would have been really big. Would have brought the house down had he made that.
And Lamb is fouled as he made his move. That's going to be team foul number 3 on the Knights.
That's a good foul on the part of Doug Herring. Talk about the presence of mind there on the part of Herring. He saw that Corneawan was beat off the dribble, commits the foul. I believe that's just going to be a sideline inbound for Mono.
77-68, CLS Knights suddenly in control here in the fourth. Tyler Lamb sort of slowed down here in the fourth. There's Coach Tong. Singletary. White back inside Singletary. Missed an easy one. And the rebound picked up by Watkins. And now the offense is not cooperating with Mono.
Oh, sorry, missed there on the part of Singletary.
Sandy for three. Travis, outlet to Lamb. Lamb pulls up for three. Way off. They didn't need that at that juncture.
Yep, that's right. Probably did not need an early triple.
Herring, almost another turnover. Jawato escapes Lamb for the moment. Jawato, Cornyawan, they have time, 8 to shoot. Under 3 minutes to go in the fourth. Herring moves in. Herring off the glass, no. And the follow-up is good for Watkins.
How about Daryl Watkins? 4 straight points here in the fourth quarter.
79-68, 2:42 to go in the fourth. Timeout called by Mono. And it looks like the parties already began here at the Golkarta Jaya Gymnasium, but despite the 11-point lead, 79-68, Marco, there is still 2 minutes and 42 remaining, and the way Singletary and Lamb have been stroking it today, that's only 3 3-point shots. But let's go back to that big 6-point swing.
Yeah.
I call it the 6-point offense because an unsportsmanlike foul yielding 2 free throws, an active shooting foul yielding 2 free throws. They get the ball back and they score a layup.
That just turned the game around from being up by 3 points. Suddenly, they're up by 9. And they are
11 actually right now.
up by 9 after that sequence.
Yeah, you're right.
And then 11. And it's just 1 point off their biggest lead of the game, which is 12 points.
Lamb starting to miss. Esho for the rebound. Foul called on Chichay Ananti, who's in the game for the first time. Mono is over the limit, and Esho goes back to the line.
And Romeo Travis just mistimed that rebound attempt. Would have been a clear offensive rebound for him. But again, the breaks of the game going the way of the home squad.
2:35 to go. Esho finds his stroke.
As you mentioned, the last time a team from Indonesia has made it to the finals was back in 2011 or 2012.
And that was, of course, the Indonesia Warriors. When they lost to the San Miguel Beermen, they lost their title to the San Miguel Beermen because they had won it in 2011. Three-pointer doesn't work. Ananti gets it inside, still can't score, but cleans up his own miss. 2:20 to go. 11-point lead. Pressure now applied, yeah.
Mathematically still time here if you're Mono Vampire, but of course the Knights so good at milking the clock.
Final 2 minutes. Oh, Esho lost his footing. And here comes Chichay Ananti. Travis, Lamb transition three is good. They're still fighting.
Another triple here from Tyler Lamb. That's going to be his 5th triple of the game. Door is still
go ahead, Marco.
Slightly ajar if you're Mono Vampire.
81-73, timeout called by Brian Rouse of 1:51 remaining here in the fourth. Their feet here at the Golkarta Jaya Gymnasium. 1:51 remaining in the fourth. 81 CLS Knights, 73 Mono Vampire. Big three-pointer in transition by Tyler Lamb to keep the hopes alive for the Thai squad.
And you know, Noel, if you're Mono Vampire, you have to play this possession by possession. A stop here and a basket, and it's down to a two-possession game. What you do not want to give up is an offensive rebound and a putback, as the BTN CLS Knights have already scored 20 second chance points in this game.
Herring, pressure shown by Morgan, but Herring gets it across.
There's also no need to foul right away here if you're Mono.
Pick provided now, there's a switch. Herring now taken by Travis. Herring attacking, Herring, hang time!
How big has Doug Herring been? 27 big points.
Lamb is fouled. Free throws coming up. Team foul number 4 for CLS.
And Tyler Lamb has really stepped up here for Mono Vampire. 23 points. Chance to go up to 25, but more importantly, stop the clock and get points on the board.
A lot of people were saying, Marco, that if Tyler Lamb started the season with Mono, he would be an MVP candidate.
Oh yes, definitely.
Former Heritage MVP. Good on his first.
So far, 3 out of 3 from the stripe is Tyler Lamb. 24 big points.
Crowd making noise. Tyler Lamb zones them out.
And you know, if Daryl Watkins gets the ball, I probably would think of fouling, as he is probably the best player to foul. Only about a 50% free throw shooter.
Gunyawan. Oh, they're trying to foul Sandy. Jawato. And a foul given up by Chichayananti. So they will test Brandon Jawato at the free throw line. One of the leading candidates for local MVP this season.
So check that. Watkins is 67% from the stripe. Jawato is 74%.
And Jawato silencing the crowd, except for those Thai drummers. But he knocks down the first. Lead is 9. 1:14 remaining.
11 points in the game for Brandon Jawato.
Missing on the second. Now Singletary's in a hurry. Singletary steps back. Can't get it to go. And they say Mono basketball.
13 seconds on the shot clock. We can even go for a quick 2 here if you're Mono. And then play the foul game.
Lamb gets it out to Singletary, and Singletary slips. Foul given up by Chichayananti to send Doug Herring to the line. And with a minute to go, Singletary is shaken up. But that could be it.
So tough. Those are the breaks of the game.
Singletary is slow to get up now. And we've seen a lot of this in this building.
Yeah. Also part of what makes playing here in Golkarta Jaya so difficult. Happens to the best of them.
Right.
We saw Maxi Escher a couple of possessions ago, lost his footing, resulting in a turnover. This time, Happens to Mike Singletary. Such a crucial time in the game for Mono Vampire.
And we're not writing out Mono yet, but you know, we got to give them credit to where they are now. Number 8 seed, barely making the playoffs, holding off the West Sports Malaysia Dragons towards the final couple of weeks of the regular season, and sweeping the number 1 Formosa Dreamers in the quarterfinals.
You saw there on the bench Wong Wei Long, heavily taped forehead.
Yeah. And it looks like there might be some blood as well on Doug Herring.
You know, Wong Wei Long probably will not come back into this game, but what a sacrifice he has made. That was the turning point of this fourth quarter, end of the game.
A little bit of a bloody lip for Doug Herring, as Freddie Leach is going to check back in.
Remember, awaiting the winner of this game are the Singapore Slingers, who will have home court advantage in the best-of-5 finals.
Herring misses the first. The Knights have not really been impeccable from the line at the end game. This to make it a double-digit spread. 85-75. 60 seconds remaining in the season of Mono, unless they pull out a miracle here. Leash across. Leash, Lamb, 3. No. Rebound Esho. Foul given up by Morgan. And it appears to be it.
That could be it. As Maxi Esho can put the finishing touches. All 5 starters of the BTN CLS Knights in double figures, led by Doug Herring with 27 big points. Wong Wei Long, 5 triples. Herring with 3. As a team, they've connected on 12 of 25. That's close to 50%.
And close to what is usually the normal fare in this building for these Knights.
We talked about how important three-point shooting was going to be here for the Knights. Number 1 three-point shooting team at 36%. Average about 9 triples per game.
2 for 2 for Esho. 87-75. CLS and a steal by Herring. And Herring's gonna scoot in for the reverse jam.
And there's your player of the game.
89-75. 40 seconds to go before the BTN CLS Knights officially enter the finals for the first time in franchise history, as Freddie Leash can't get it to go. Jawato's gonna get this across.
What about, but you still have to give a lot of credit here for Mono Vampire, as you mentioned.
You're right.
Number 8 seed. Nobody thought they would make it to the playoffs, but ended up sweeping the number 1 seed Formosa Dreamers, and then taking the BTN CLS Knights the distance.
And they will dribble out the time. That's going to be, I believe, a shot clock violation. They turned off the shot clock at one point already, but
that's a great display of sportsmanship here for Daryl Watkins and the Knights.
So 3 seconds remaining. Freddie Leash is going to hang on to the ball, and that's going to do it. The BTN CLS Knights advance to the finals of the ASEAN Basketball League. And they will face the Singapore Slingers in a best-of-5 final. Congratulations to the Knights, but also heads up for Mono Vampire. Celebration has begun here at the Gorkartajaya Gymnasium. And the prayers have been answered, young lady. You can smile now.
And that was a game fitting of a game 3. Undecided until the final moments of the last few minutes of the fourth quarter. Back and forth. Biggest lead for BTN CLS Knights was 14 points. Biggest lead for Mono was 5 points. You look at the bloodied Wong Wei Long.
Looks like he came out of surgery or something.
One of the heroes with 5 triples. Of course, Tyler Lamb coming up big for Mono Vampire. Romeo Travis, 16 points, 13 rebounds. Singletary, 13 points as well. But as they have done all season long, they have protected home floor.
And they are on their way to their first final in franchise history. And it has taken a while before an Indonesian team actually made it to the finals. It was 7 years ago when the Indonesia Warriors last went to the finals. It was 8 years ago when an Indonesian team last won an ABL championship. And now they have a chance. And for the Singapore Slingers, they have been in the final, Marco, in 3 of the last 4 seasons, but have never won.
That is right. Chance for redemption for the Singapore Slingers. But you look at Wong Wei Long, you can be sure part of him is thinking about that matchup against his former squad.
There you go, Wani, which means to win. And they still believe they have won. Brian Rousem, one of the leading candidates for Coach of the Year because of what he has achieved here for the BTN CLS Knights. But the celebration will be short-lived for these gentlemen on the floor as they now prepare to face the Singapore Slingers in the final. But for tonight, Marco, it is the night of the BTN CLS Knights.
And outfitting Doug Herring, waving that flag in victory, finishing with 30 points, 12 of 18 from the field. He was 3 out of 5 from long distance, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals. For the guy they have relied on pretty much the entire season. And of course, Maxi Esho, subpar performance offensively, but
and they have a victory chant here going on, Marco.
Big points coming in the fourth quarter and in the second half for Maxi Esho.
Boy, this is otherworldly right now. It's a surreal experience seeing this from a team that started 2-7 this season, and they're on their way to the finals. Now let's look at those matchups now long term between the Singapore Slingers and of course the BTN CLS Knights. Slingers have had their number this season.
And especially because when you face the Singapore Slingers, you know they are a defensive-oriented team. They love those low-scoring, grind-out games. And with John Fields and Xavier Alexander, Delvin Go, you know that they can also pound the ball inside the paint, and they have the personnel and of course the coaching prowess to match up against a talented and well-oiled BTN CLS Knights squad.
I'm looking forward to that Jaron Young versus Doug Herring matchup. And we have our best player of the game interview right now. Let's send it over to courtside.
Okay, what a super game by Douglas Herring. What do you feel tonight?
Man, it feels amazing, man.
Wow.
Great energy tonight, hard-fought win. For the hard work that we put in, we deserve it.
Yeah.
The fans deserve it. I'm just happy we could give it to them.
Man, 30 points and Surabaya love you. Surabaya love you. Do you feel, are you ready? The team ready for the final?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we've been working hard.
Yeah.
We feel like we deserve it. We feel like we can play with anybody.
Yeah.
We got about 5 days to get ourselves mentally prepared, get a game plan ready. We got to come out ready to play.
Thank you, Da.
No
Thank you, General.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Back to up. Thank you very much, Surabaya.
That's a lot of energy displayed. There's Doug Herring, our player of the game, Marco. You mentioned his numbers, 27 points in this one. Our player of the game, 30 points in this one, Marco.
30 points, and you know, there wasn't a single time he was consistent all throughout. He knew when to attack, he knew when to take those outside shots, really controlled the tempo of the game. And in the fourth quarter, whenever you need to put the ball in the hands of your leader, Doug Herring was the guy. You see those penetrations against the front line of Mono Vampire, hit those big triples, found his open teammates, whether it was Sandy Corniawan, whether it was Wong Wei Long, whether it was Maxi Escher, you see that strong penetration against Malcolm White. Doug Herring made the plays for the home squad.
And it will be a total team effort going in the books for the BTN CLS Knights. All 5 starters, as you mentioned, in double figures. But now they need to dig deep going up against the Singapore Slingers, a team that appears to be on a mission of redemption after failing in the finals in their 3 trips in the last 4 seasons.
You talked about the matchups that are going to happen moving forward. Of course, you have Daryl Watkins against John Fields. You have Xavier Alexander against Maxi Escher. So amazing matchups all around here in the finals.
And again, that matchup between Jaron Young and Doug Herring, two-way players. Numbers from the game, Marco.
Again, 12 of 25 from long distance, 19 of 25 from the free throw stripe. You see their aggressiveness going to the basket, getting to the foul line, despite losing out in terms of assists and in terms of turnovers. Well, BTN CLS Knights still managing to shoot better, and of course, playing overall all 5 starters in double figures for the BTN CLS Knights.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, the semifinals are officially closed here in the 9th season of the ASEAN Basketball League. The rise to greatness continues on March 3 for Game 1 of the finals at the OCBC Arena. It'll be the Singapore Slingers taking on the BTN CLS Knights. And the party has begun here in Surabaya. For everybody involved in this production and all the hardworking men and women of the ASEAN Basketball League, for my partner Marco Benitez, my name is Noel Zarate. We will see you in the finals of the 9th season of the ASEAN Basketball League as we continue to rise to greatness.